morning player profiler. George Kittle is not expected to play per Adam Schefter. Jaylen Warren is expected to play per Adam Schefter. I just checked the Adam Schefter Twitter feed now. This guy almost went live on time. I was actually ready at 8 o'clock, but I just wanted to go through a couple more steps. Want to make sure I checked Adam Schefter's Twitter feed. You'd think that everyone would be all up to speed on what Adam Schefter's doing with all these news aggregation services, but no, they're not. So that's all you really need. That's all I need. I familiarized myself throughout the weekend with all of the injury news. Not a lot of injury news. A lot of guys off the injury report. We got T. Higgins playing. We got Nico Collins playing. That's the story, right? We lose Kittle. We get everybody else back. That's a pretty good trade, except that I had Kittle as my tight end one for the rest of the year and a total smash. And one of the reasons why was his health. And so, of course, the very next week or 2 weeks later, he's out. He gets hurt. That's as expected. And then who's going to be the leading scoring tight end this week? Travis Kelce, right? This is it. We're back to normal. This is a return to normalcy week. Return to health, return to normalcy. We got Kelce. We just got all of the normal fantasy options in front of us. No Dalton Kincaid. So we're starting Dawson Knox this week. I can put it right out there right now. I'm starting Dawson Knox in multiple leagues. It was a race to go get Knox. I was excited to get him. So I don't think it makes any sense either. Like, why would you, if you're the Bills, why would you start or play Dalton Kincaid? Makes no sense. Makes zero sense. So, I mean, yeah, Buffalo has a bye next week. So, what? Yeah. So, don't expect Kincaid to play. Amari Cooper is questionable, but there is hope. Like, the hope is he's going to play. Still a game time decision, but they are hopeful. So we're going to go 60-40. Amari Cooper plays, maybe 70-30. Maybe 70-30. And we've got a lot of questions. I've got a lot of answers. So that's the good thing. I'm prepared. I'm trying to show everybody, hey, I'm almost going live on time, and I'm pretty kind of prepared. So that's good. MVS or Ray Ray? Well, it's not Ray Ray. Mooney was removed from the injury report. It's just a little bit of Achilles tendonitis, which I speculated. And so you're going to go back to MVS. I mean, MVS, if anything, the coaches will see him making plays. They're going to try to integrate him more. So I don't think streaming MVS in a desperate situation is point chasing at all. Absolutely not. I mean, name me a better option and we can talk. How about that? So that's perfectly fine. MVS, why not? Why not? It's at home. Right? You love those dome conditions. If we love Jameis Winston and Cedric Tillman, which we do, this is the theme of the week, stacking. Pickens and Russell Wilson. I guess Russell Wilson, he's back. Russell Wilson's Russell Wilson again. A lot of fun stacks this week. A lot of fun stacks. Even yes. Drake May, Demario Douglas. Deeper leagues where you might be starting an MVS, you could start a Demario Douglas. But it sounds like if you're thinking about Ray McLeod, Demario Douglas is not an option, right? That's a fun league. That's a pretty cool league to be in if that's the decision. Cortland Sutton or Tillman. That's a good one. You got to love the matchup for Cortland Sutton. He's got Atlanta. It would be nice if it was at Atlanta. That'd be even better for the passing game. Maybe a little more come from behind mode there. But I like Cortland Sutton in that game. As much as I want to stack Jameis with Tillman, I think there's a little more upside with Tillman. I think it's very close. I'll even pull up the projections so we can make sure we get that one right, because that's a tough one. That's a good one. That's a tough one. I would just go Sutton because he's been the most underrated receiver. He's always going to get you, say, 12 fantasy points. He's always going to get you 6 for 60 or 4 for 80 or whatever it is. And then the question is, will he score a touchdown? But there's upside there too. Cortland Sutton is an explosive playmaker. He's just as explosive as Cedric Tillman is. So we are on the player profiler projections, and it is so close. We've got Sutton projected for 15 fantasy points and Tillman for 14.2. So, Sutton it is. God, I trust my instincts. Usually when I trust my instincts, it works out. It's great. It's great. Okay, here we go. Drake May or Anthony Richardson? Ooh, I like this one too. Let me ask the question, though. What am I missing about Drake May? I mean, Anthony Richardson has huge risk. It's the Jets, right? He has to try to thread the ball into whoever Sauce Gardner is covering if he wants to go on the outside, which he shouldn't. He should just leave Michael Pittman alone. Hey, Michael Pittman, go absorb Sauce Gardner, take 0 targets. Let me just find Josh Downs. But the problem is, Anthony Richardson's best trait is the deep ball. So he wants to go on the outside. He wants to challenge Sauce Gardner. His best trait is conflicting with going right up against, right into the teeth of the Jets' best trait, the Jets' best player. That's not good, right? So if the Jets had great slot corners and linebackers, but their outside cornerbacks were weak, if it was like the Colts, then this would be but he is on the Colts. The problem is Anthony Richardson can't play the Colts. I think that's the real reason that Anthony Richardson's been benched, because he can't play the Colts. Imagine if he could play the Colts, he'd look like a superstar. Drake May is a top 12 quarterback this week. We have him projected for 18-plus fantasy points against the Rams. Start him with some confidence. Yes, absolutely. What's the best strategy for fast draft this week? I think it's try to get Christian McCaffrey. No George Kittle now. Draft Christian McCaffrey. That is the best strategy this week. Draft Christian McCaffrey on Fast Draft, fastdraft.app. Oh, we should check the Fast Draft and see where the tournament is. How close is the inaugural Fast Draft GPP tournament? Oh my God, what a time to be alive, man. I'm so proud of the whole team here getting Fast Draft launched before the season started and then getting DFS launched. Oh, baby. It is 71% complete. And there's another draft that's about to go off. So we have a few more drafts that could happen. I think that will it fill? It's going to be close. I think you go into fastdraft.app, you look for the Flex 6 Frenzy. That's the name of the tournament. And you might be looking at some overlay. It's possible it fills, probably doesn't. I think either way, I'm proud of the prize pool that Billy and I chose. It was the right prize pool for our first tournament, $1,000 prize pool. And then you just work your way up from there. See if you can get McCaffrey. The beauty is McCaffrey's been going at the 101, the 102, the 103, the 104. So it's very possible you get a top 4 pick and get McCaffrey. Streaming. It's Dawson Knox season, guys. It's Dawson Knox season. We're streaming Dawson Knox. He's a Bill. He's been poaching catches and touchdowns his whole career. Why not let him actually start and command 3, 4, 5 targets and score a touchdown? It's at home, friendly conditions. This so feels like a Dawson Knox touchdown game. It so feels that way. Good morning, Producer D. In the house. Tyreek or Tillman? It's got to be Tyreek. How could it be? How is this a question? We're really asking this question? Man, we're in a tough spot. Life is tough if we're asking this question. I mean, I'll tell you exactly where we have Hill this week, just so you can know. We have Hill as a top 10 option. So you're starting Hill. The idea that you wouldn't start Tyreek Hill with Tua is crazy to me. That's a crazy thing. Crazy. And they're playing the Raiders. I mean, you're definitely starting Tyreek Hill. You're definitely starting him. This is a stack. You could do the double stack. Tua with Hill and Waddle. I just don't love Tua as a stacking partner. I always hate him as a stacking partner. And actually, the Raiders don't give up a lot of fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. They're actually number 3 in the least allowed. They're the number 3 hardest team to score fantasy points on if you're a wide receiver. That is wild. So, you start Hill no matter what. He would be like a top 5 option if it was a great matchup. I can't believe we're here. And I'm so glad I drafted 0 Tyreek Hill. 0 Tyreek Hill. No Breece Hall, no Tyreek Hill for the Podfather this year. Oh my God. I've been on for maybe 10 minutes and I'm already drowning in these questions. I can't believe this. Lamb or Adunze? You got to start Lamb. Cooper Rush is not the worst quarterback. I think there was some bad luck involved. Houston is friendly to opposing wide receivers. You're starting Lamb. Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, or Drake London? Ooh, I like that. I like that question. The question is, where do we have Drake London? We have Drake London as wide receiver 13 against Denver. I absolutely hate it. I'm just going Aaron Jones. So that I can tell you, that's easy. You're definitely starting Aaron Jones over Pollard, right? And I am terrified of Drake London this week. Patrick Surtain, no thank you. Wow, and someone else had the exact same question, back to back. Jones, Pollard, or London? The answer is Jones. Are you guys? Was that a burner account? How did that work? How is that possible? Look at this. Everybody, look at this. Look at this on the screen. You get this question, and then right after him, this guy. How is that possible? You'll never see this again. You'll never see this again. The same 3 guys back to back within a minute? Wild stuff. Good morning to you, Harry Snowman. Elijah Moore, Jalen Waddle. That's funny. That's fun. It's a good troll. It's Jalen Waddle, guys. Come on. Come on. Jalen Waddle is really good. I mean, if there are people that actually have him and don't think he's good anymore, then you should definitely trade for them in Dynasty. I mean, absolutely. Even in seasonal leagues. I mean, yes, trade deadline's not over yet. Trade for him. Any league format. If whoever has Jalen Waddle is somehow out on him, go get him. We don't know of an injury. The information we have is he's still the Jalen Waddle that every year puts up 1,100 yards somehow with either yak or air yards and delivers for fantasy gamers. And we just know, we've seen him play, he has the Terry McLaurin skill set. Puka, Debo, Jennings, Myers, Jacoby Myers. God, you guys, you're doing last names, no commas, and bad spelling. Look at this. Should I have to answer this? Should I have to answer this? Some are uppercase, some are not. The Myers was Jason Myers, the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks, spells his name like this. And I'm actually in the Scott Fish Bowl, and I'm starting 4 kickers because my team is a disaster. Neighbors is on a bye, and I had Trevor Lawrence hurt, and it's the worst. Oh, I had Kincaid in that league. Awful. So I had this coffee, right? But I finish it so early in these shows that there was this new kind of mug. It's technically plastic, but apparently it holds somehow the way the convection currents are with the coffee, it keeps it warm. So I've had this off to the side, totally open. I'm not doing the whole, Yeti container. We could do that, but I'm not doing it. Let's see if this is hot enough. Not really. No, didn't work. Good enough. Coffee's coffee, so it's good enough for me. But no. A Jacoby Myers, Cooper Kupp, Puka. I mean, I don't think you're starting anyone other than Puka or Kupp. And the question is, who's higher, Puka or Kupp? And for us, it's Kupp. We're going Cooper Kupp there. But actually, wow. We have, this is shocking and this is true, and I should have expected this because we're always ahead on Jacoby Myers. Even though it's a tough matchup, Miami's a tough matchup for wide receivers, we have Myers projected ahead of Puka. I did not see that coming. So, terrible question by this guy. I hate that he misspelled everything and made my life difficult. Made me think it was Jason Myers. But I answered it anyway. Now, someone's asking, about Waddle versus Josh Downs. Oh boy, isn't that tough? That is tough. I'm going Waddle this week. I'm going to go Waddle over Josh Downs. I don't trust Anthony Richardson to deliver the ball to Josh Downs. So I'm going down with Waddle. Here's the weird thing. I never was a big Waddle guy. I was like top 10. That's a bit rich. The guy barely worked out. Like I don't think we have a burst score, agility score. He was sharing a field with Judy and Ruggs and all these guys and Devontae Smith. And so he wasn't a big time producer in college, undersized. I was like, this guy's not a top 10 pick in the draft. Then you saw what he did with his production and his advanced metrics and the way he wins on the field and like every quadrant he has covered. Super efficient everywhere. Okay, after a couple of years, I'm like, this guy's phenomenal. I'm in. And then fart noises. Just fart noise after fart noise after fart noise in 2024. He's testing my conviction. But I'm going to keep going back to him. If you guys are going to throw me like Josh Downs with Anthony Richardson, which is just a nightmare scenario for Josh Downs, then I'm going to go with Waddle. If you're giving me Downs with Flacco, then that's easy. Knox or Hunter Henry? That is a very good question. That I like. That's a question I can happily answer. It's Hunter Henry. I'm playing Henry. Henry was thought to be potentially a game-time decision, but he started practicing, and he's fine. There's very few weapons for Drake May. Drake May's had some truly horrific matchups, super smothering matchups, and finally they get the Rams a little bit easier. I like it. I like it a lot. So we have Knox at tight end 16. And we have Henry at tight end 9 this week. So again, playerprofiler.com, the rankings, the projections. We've heavily discounted them now. So you can get them for the rest of the season for like, I don't know, $20, $25. It's nothing. So you can have access to all these projections at your fingertips. One, Cheetah versus Raiders. Okay, now I have to decode. Look at this guy. He's making me decode the nicknames. It's not enough, right? You guys are just giving me last names. I would rather see Hill, even though there was a Brian Hill. There was a Brian Hill that played for the Falcons at one point. And there's Taysom Hill. Wait, no, I don't want to see No. Yeah, now I have to wait. Is this a deep league? And is this Taysom Hill? Cheetah? You could just type Tyreek Hill and make it so that me and you and the whole audience can enjoy the show, but no. And why the parentheses? R. Stevenson. Okay, Ramondre Stevenson. Definitely not Chubb. Ooh. Yeah, it's interesting because you saw, here's the weird thing. I have a theory about this. That when there's a Monday night game and it's not good, that it really sticks with people. So we remember that Monday night game where, Miami and the Rams were just not able to get anything going, right? And Achane is a 0. That was one game. That is not indicative of what these defenses are and what these offenses are. That's just one game. So, given that, I am scrolling and I am scrolling and I am scrolling and I am scrolling to find where we have Stevenson this week. We don't think Stevenson is primed for a lot of fantasy points. I think primarily because it's only a 19.5 implied Vegas points that makes it tough for the Patriots. I still like the fringier options as a desperation play should the game go over, especially a Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry. But if we're talking about meat and potatoes, like who to start in shallower leagues, I'm going to go Hill over Stevenson. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. I get that. But when you're starting fringier options that are like the primary pass catchers, like Hunter Henry, Demario Douglas, all you need is for the game to shoot out a little bit, and then these guys can get there very easily. It's a sub 50% likelihood that these guys are going to deliver for your fantasy team, and a positive edge, right? But Stevenson, the idea that he would go off against the Rams, given the point total, even in a shootout, and if there is a shootout, the beneficiary is really going to be May and the pass catchers. The idea that somehow the Patriots would get out to a lead and lean on Stevenson, and then that's how he gets there, it seems a little thin against quality options. But when you're just talking about throwing darts, then I'm a little more excited about the Patriots. When I have to decide between real bona fide options, playing a Patriot this week doesn't feel good. That's the best way I can explain it. Whoa, this guy has the worst options. Look at this. Dowdle, Pittman, Mike Williams, Jameson Williams. It's still Dowdle. I know he listed Dowdle first because he knows it's Dowdle. There are professional football players on the Cowboys, and they're at home. They are going to score some points. Cooper Rush is not the worst backup quarterback. He's probably an above-average backup quarterback. You're not going to feel great about it, but you're going to do it. You're going to play Dowdle. Chubb or Pearsall. I like Chubb. Kittle's out. I get chasing the points with Pearsall, but we're talking about the Saints. We're talking about a team that could potentially be laying down, and Chubb working his way back to health. That's the team he can exploit, a team that might be laying down. So I would take the chance on Chubb, even though it's a road game. He's not super active in the passing game. He's not 100% back yet. But the other choice is still the third option. Again, the top options for Brock Purdy are as follows. Number 1, Deebo Samuel. Number 2, Christian McCaffrey. Number 3, Jawan Jennings. Number 4, Ricky Pearsall. Still number 4 on the list. And then whoever they bring in is it Ross Dwelly? Whoever they bring in for a tight end. Montgomery or Dobbins? Oh, it's Montgomery. Dude, am I the only one that's... Gus Edwards is a problem, is he not? Where do we have... I certainly hope we don't have Dobbins projected very high this week. We actually do. We have Dobbins projected relatively high. That is shocking to me. Okay. We've got Dobbins. Listen to this. Running back 17. Woo! We have Montgomery running back 14. It's obviously Montgomery, I'm just saying, but like I think it was close. Oh, boy. This Gus Edwards, oh, man. And Javonte and Audric Estime, oh, puke. Puke. Puke, puke, puke. Hopkins or Josh Downs? I'm going Hopkins. I don't trust it. I don't trust Josh Downs with Anthony Richardson. I love Josh Downs with pocket passers. Again, Anthony Richardson wants to throw deep. He wants to throw to the outside. Sauce Gardner's on the outside. It's a big problem. This is going to be a huge test. They are setting Anthony. This is a setup to set Anthony Richardson up to fail. Why they're doing this? It just shows that they have no care for their quarterback, and really there's no long-term decision-making at all happening in Indy. This is just complete ass covering, save your job mode, throw whatever you can at the problem, regardless of the men that are actually have to go out there and perform. It's shameful what's happening in Indy. ETN or Dowdle, this is a good one. And I can tell you that this is close in our projections. So Bigsby's out, which makes me think that I think this is just an ETN game. I know we don't love the matchup, but some of the Detroit fantasy points against running backs statistics are driven in a world where Aiden Hutchinson was healthy. But again, they seem to haven't skipped a beat on defense. I know. Given that, and given that Travis Etienne could be a workhorse this week, should be a workhorse this week, I like him. I like him over Kareem Hunt. I like him over Pollard. I think I would like him over Dobbins. So I like Etienne quite a bit. I like him right up into that Josh Jacobs Swift zone. Then I stop liking him. This is also a week where we could see James Cook completely bottled up. This is a tricky, tricky week for James Cook. I wouldn't be starting him with any kind of confidence whatsoever. ETN over Dowdle. Jackson Smith and Jigba or DJ Moore? Well, we know DK Metcalf's back this week, but you're starting Jackson Smith and Jigba. Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's just commanding all the targets. I just want to make sure in the projections we have that as the case. I mean, I would be shocked. You know who we love this week? I just want to make sure everybody knows who we love this week. Who do we love? Khalil Shakir. The law of the conservation of targets. Even if Amari Cooper plays. Amari Cooper is questionable. He's 70-30 to play. They're hopeful he plays. They're not sure if he plays. We'll see. If he does play, my reputation for skill match and teammate fit is on the line because I've said this is the perfect skill match with Josh Allen and Amari Cooper. It is on the line, but there's no Keon Coleman and there's no Dalton Kincaid, and that means Khalil Shakir. So whatever your questions are, start Khalil Shakir. Yes, you start Khalil Shakir. Starting Cortland Sutton. Yes, you're starting Cortland Sutton. Yes, you're starting CeeDee Lamb. So I know there's questions about those guys out there. You're starting those guys. You're starting DK Metcalf this week. You're doing it. He's back. That's all you need to know. You're starting Tillman this week. You're definitely starting Tillman this week. You're starting DeAndre Hopkins this week. Okay? You're starting Tank Dell. We're going back to the Tank Dell well. You're starting Jackson Smith and Jigba this week. Okay? After that, we can have conversations, everybody. Okay? Once we get into Josh Downs and Darnell Mooney and Jawan Jennings and DJ Moore world, we can have a conversation. I also think this might be a week where Jamison Williams goes off. This would be the week, right? Jacksonville gives up 5 fantasy points per game above the average to opposing wide receivers. The Detroit Lions are projected to beat the Jaguars by more than 10 points, close to 14 points. this would be the way they get there, right? They have to score points one way or the other as 13.5-point favorites. How are they going to get there? How? Deep touchdown pass to Jameson Williams. That's how. Jameson Williams is a knucklehead. I don't have any Jameson Williams in Dynasty or any format because I'll never draft a guy like that. I don't like players like that. They can be suspended at any moment. They can be injured at any moment. They can punch a teammate at any moment. They can, for whatever it is, driving 150 miles an hour. Whatever the reason is, they're either not going to be an integral part of the offense or they're not going to be playing at all. And they're very talented. I know that. Jameson Williams, very talented. But I'll never have that guy. But in DFS, weekly games, this would be a guy that you take a shot on, right? Especially in fast draft. Think about fast draft, that format where you're just drafting 6 guys for the week. That's it, right? In round 6, throw a little dart on Jameson Williams. That's something I would do at home against the Jaguars. That's the kind of matchup that players like Jameson Williams exploit. And that's why we have him so high up. So let's do a quick check-in on fast draft. Oh, another draft just went off. We're now at 75%. Ooh, 75% filled. Did someone here live join one of these drafts? Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, R.C. Fisher is drafting. Who did R.C.? Oh, we got to see who R.C. Fisher drafted. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at this. Look at this. We should share this. Oh my God. I got to share my screen here. You'll love this. You will love this. Look at this. Oh my God. This is great. Check this out. This is the first round. Oh, wow. Amazing. Look at this. Incredible. Ian Hartitz in there with Amon-Ra St. Brown. There's 5 people that drafted and didn't draft Christian McCaffrey, letting R.C. Fisher get Christian McCaffrey at the 106. Hey, I said he might go in the top 4 picks. Getting him at the 106, that's pretty special. And then RC in the second round, just to let you know who he drafted in the second round, Travis Kelce. RC in the third round went Calvin Ridley. In the fourth round, he took DeAndre Hopkins. Great pick. He's a little, I don't like how wide receiver heavy he is right now, but getting McCaffrey's good. He goes Pollard in round 5. And then, see, I don't like this. Hunter Henry in round 6. And Jameson Williams was not drafted. See, that's a mistake. Well, I don't know if it's a mistake. It's football. We don't know what's going to happen. But if it were me, I wouldn't be taking all these tight ends. And there's a lot of tight ends that go in round 6. Evan Ingram, David Njoku, Mark Andrews. I would prefer to take a shot. It's my philosophy, which is in flex, deeper flex, I'm going to try to take a shot on a wide receiver. I'm going to go for an upside spike week wide receiver. That's what I would have done. But I'm not allowed to play on Fast Draft. So we'll never know what I would do on Fast Draft, will we? Oh, man. May or Winston? Good question. I love both of them this week. Can I just say that? We are going May, I think. Although, yeah, we want May. You want the rushing upside. I still think Winston goes for 405 and 5 interceptions, but that's my bold prediction. So yeah, the Bold Prediction podcast drops every Sunday morning at 6 a.m. We drop the Bold Predictions podcast on the Player Profiler Network. and it's also available on YouTube as a sort of fully produced video. And so, so we make really bold predictions. Like this week, Jameis Winston is the third quarterback consecutively to win a game after throwing for 5 interceptions. Seems like a Jameis Winston thing to do in New Orleans. That just seems like something he would do. Sutton or Chase Brown? Here's the weird thing. Because I've been scrolling up and down, I saw that question like 20 minutes ago, and I don't even want to look at where the questions are now, where we are. I'm sure we're so far down, and I want to get to all the questions. I really wish I could. But this is a good one. I'm pretty sure it's Chase Brown, right? I mean, isn't it Chase Brown pretty easily? Chase Brown's a top 15 option this week. So yeah, that's not that tough of a question. It's clearly Chase Brown. PPR doesn't matter. Chase Brown. Oh, we have a Facebook question. Oh my God, we got to support our Facebook friends. 2 of 4. Tillman, Debo, Flowers, Chubb. Well, we know it's Debo. The question is Flowers. I think it's Flowers. Pretty sure it's Flowers. So we're going to go Flowers, Debo. That's what we're doing. Not Tillman. No, but Tillman for upside, right? Here's the thing. Debo and Flowers also have upside, but I think if you want a little more desperation, if you feel like you're not a favorite, you're an underdog this week. If you're like a 25-75 underdog, I would throw Tillman in there over Debo. But otherwise, I'm playing Debo and I'm playing Flowers. You're gonna be happy with that. Debo's also getting healthier. You're streaming Knox, everybody. We're streaming Knox this week. You can't stream Freiermuth. Russell Wilson cannot throw to the middle of the field. No Seattle tight end ever did anything. Okay. We have Ridley, Tillman, Zay, Ridley. He said Ridley twice. See? Look at you people. Honestly. Jesus Christ. So it's definitely Zay. So here's the thing. When is Zay Flowers going to get some respect? Like, we have Zay Flowers as a top 15 option this week. Why are you people still debating whether to start Zay Flowers or not? The real question here, to me, is Ridley versus Tillman. And Ridley's getting the targets. I get it. Minnesota, it's the matchup. I get it. But I'm going Tillman. I'm going Tillman over Ridley. I mean, you can start Ridley. You can start Ridley. And again, I once said that Ridley had no ceiling, and then he went out and scored 25 fantasy points. That's a thing that happened. I've also been right about Ridley for something like 20,000 consecutive weeks before that week. So that's all the information you need. That's all the background information you need about my resume when it comes to Calvin Ridley and me being right about Calvin Ridley. Start Cedric Tillman. And of course you're starting Zay Flowers. And all, by the way, I know that you guys say, well, no, it's not relevant. I know, but the way my brain works, I shuffle through players. There's also Zay Jones. So Zay isn't even a unique first name for a wide receiver in the NFL. Just want to make sure everyone knows that. Ramadre or Tank Dell? I think that's a very good one. And I'm going to go Tank Dell this week. I'm going back to Tank Dell. I don't like Ramadre this week. It's not a Ramadre week. It's not. And it's weird because it is in New England. Feels like a Ramadre week. Tank Dell is certainly going to be more volatile. I'll tell you what, if you're a favorite at all, go Stevenson. And if you need a little more upside juice in your lineup, go Tank Dell. Again, I don't see a lot of upside with Stevenson, but I see, because they're at home, I see a very stable range of outcomes. I see a very stable 10 to 15 fantasy points, where spike week for Tank Dell, very possible. Mahomes or Herbert? Hey, this is like a question from 4 years ago. Like, hey, Mahomes and Herbert, right? Neither of these guys, not either. Oh my God, is it true? Can't be true. No. I feel like there's been a week though where both Herbert and Mahomes were outside the top 12 quarterbacks for a week in the projections, which is just embarrassing. This is not even close. So I just want to let everybody know this. This is the one where you can bury me with this. Like, you can put this in my casket, many decades from now. You're starting Herbert in this particular matchup over Patrick Mahomes easily. It's not close. This is a clear and obvious start of Justin Herbert. Pearsall or ETN? ETN, guys. Why are you worried about ETN this week? Why are people worried about ETN? Doesn't make sense. Tyler G, great content. Is it? Is it? It's news to me. This is just the earliest content on the internet. That's all it is. This is just me. By the way, I also, in an effort to be on time to go live between 8 and 8:05, which I finally accomplished, I didn't do my hair mess up thing. Right? Should we? What do you guys like? Do you like it down better? So if I go down, do you like this? Because this is where I think I look really bad. But I don't mind being in. Like, is this the worst I can look? Is this the worst? If you took fantasy advice from this guy, does that make you feel good? How does that go? Is this good? There's down hair. And then then we can also do just a really messy, we can do this thing. So there's a couple different ways we can go. We've gone two different ways this year with the bedhead. I forgot to bedhead my hair, so I just had regular hair because that's how I wake up. That's the thing. I don't roll around when I sleep. Okay? I think I've just revealed, if you happen to be listening at 8:50 Eastern on a Sunday for week 11, you got a little bit of a peek behind the curtain and the lie that is the Starter Stream show, that's not my real bedhead. And that's too bad. But I sleep like straight. I lay down, I lay on my back, and I fall asleep on my back. And then I wake up. And then I go about my day. Like, I don't toss and turn. I don't have problems sleeping. I sleep soundly because I don't have a lot of bad fantasy decisions on my conscience. I sleep soundly because I was fading Jerry Jeudy from the beginning. Oh, man. Ricky Pearsall or Pop Douglas? Oh, this was the question I've been waiting for. Oh, my God. This is the question I've been looking for my whole life. This is a good one because this is the ultimate. This is the guy that's the fourth receiver on an exciting offense, super efficient offense, or the guy that's the number one wide receiver on an offense that is volatile, we'll say, definitely low in the implied points this week. We have Demario Douglas at wide receiver 36. So the answer is clear. It's Demario Douglas. I also want to mention, and I would be remiss because people have asked, like Tillman versus Elijah Moore. People have asked about Elijah Moore. I'm assuming Jeudy is out, and that's why. I haven't even been tracking Jerry Jeudy. Is he out this week? He probably is, right? Will he play? Jerry Jeudy did not participate. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if he participated. Let me know in the chat. Is Jerry Jeudy going to play? Oh, I gotta lose my place in the chat. Uh-oh. Oh my God! Look at all these questions. Yes, Podson. Fast Draft does rock. 5-minute drafts. You love drafting. Everyone loves drafting. We can do 5-minute drafts during the season. And you set your boosters. So it's imagine main slate DFS, but with the features of a showdown. Right? It's really fun. And you guys want the glasses back on. Okay, you guys want the glasses back on. So anyway, it looks like there's no designation for Jerry Jeudy, apparently. I thought maybe there was. Is he? I didn't know. All these questions, but based on where we have Elijah Moore in the projections, I mean, man, Jerry Jeudy is just so pathetic. We have this is amazing. Oh, there's Jeudy. He's in the top 40. I found him. He's playing, everybody. He's playing. I missed it. Sorry. Still, anytime you see Elijah, listen. In my defense, anytime you see Elijah Moore in your top 40 of your projections, you're thinking maybe Judy's not playing. But no, as it turns out, we just think there's going to be a lot of pass volume there. It's going to be spread around Tillman, Jeudy, and Elijah Moore. And it's very close. It's very close. We even said, someone asked about Waddle versus Elijah Moore. It's Waddle, but it's very close. We have Elijah Moore projected ahead of Romeo Doubs, Quentin Johnston, Christian Watson, Rashad Bateman, Tyler Lockett, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Ricky Pearsall, all those guys. We're going Demario Douglas, and we're going Elijah Moore this week. And Jameson Williams. We are playing Jameson Williams this week. So those are just some dichotomies that should help everybody. And now I've got to scroll all the way back up to try to catch up where I was. Disley or Hunter Henry? Dude, it's Hunter Henry, man. Okay, so this guy Jason A goes, I think Downs is going to surprise people. And my question to him is, how do you know that? How about this? How about broken glasses? How about that? How about broken glasses? Is that good? These glasses, they're not that easy to see through. So they're not great. They're not that comfortable to do a show in. And maybe if I cleaned them, I mean, maybe they're just too dirt. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not wearing them. ETN or Dowdle? We're going ETN this week, everybody. Come on now. ETN, let's go. Listen, by the way, Tyler G., I'll take credit where credit is due. I didn't say Anthony Richardson was going to be terrible like last year. I didn't say that. I don't know. I've given up on trying to predict what quarterbacks are going to do longer term. I'm just enjoying it as it's happening. Right? I did say Bryce Young was overrated. And I did have very strong feelings about Bryce Young last year. So that you can give me credit for, but not Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, I was like, man, the football guys love his arm. They love his whole body of work, except, the whole production thing. Okay, maybe I was throwing shade. Okay, I was throwing some shade. All right, fair enough. Elijah Moore, Adunze, Mitchell. Well, this one's close. These guys are all like very close to each other in the projections, except Mitchell. Oh, how do I explain this to people? Anthony Richardson does not throw passes. And he runs like 15 times a game sometimes. And this is also a Jonathan Taylor week. This is not a week to be betting on the Colts passing game at all. Okay? Anthony Richardson likes to throw to the outside. That's where Sauce Gardner lurks. And the way Adonai Mitchell gets there this week is so incredibly thin now with Michael Pittman off the injury report. Why someone like Austin would even list him as an option is the thing we need to solve for. That's the cure to the disease that we need, this point-chasing disease. Adonai Mitchell's not an option this week. He's not an option. Not even close. Elijah Moore is like a smash compared to Adonai Mitchell. I mean, it's possible that I mean, Pittman tweaks his back, and Anthony Richardson hurts his shoulder. And in the second half, they turn to Josh Downs and Adonai Mitchell with Joe Flacco under center. I mean, that's what we need to happen, but it's not going to happen. So don't play Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell would be great on another team in another situation. You put Adonai Mitchell on the Saints this week, it would be go time, baby. But he's not on the Saints. He's on the Colts. And it's the worst possible situation to have a quarterback that when he does throw, he throws to the outside into the teeth of the defense. And when he throws underneath in intermediate routes, when he does choose to do that, he's poor at it. Josh Downs is good, but if the ball is not in his catch radius, he's not going to catch it. Same with Adonai Mitchell. So to answer your question, it's just Moore and Odunze. The better question is Moore versus Odunze because they have the same projection in our projections this week. I actually think, I think I'm just going Moore. I think Moore has upside. Moore is explosive. Moore's been commanding like 10 targets a game recently. I'm just going Moore there. There's an argument, if you're an underdog, maybe Odunze has the upside. I don't even see it that way because I think Moore has upside. So I think it's just Moore all the way. Stack Herbert and Ladd or Drake and Pop? Herbert and Ladd over Drake May and Pop Douglas. I mean, by a country mile. That's clear. Madison, Ray Davis, or McLaughlin? Well, it's Madison for sure because he's at least going to potentially fall into the end zone. So you got to always start Madison. And just let everybody know, we have Madison at running back 27, right there with Estime, and it's just Pukeville. That's just Pukeville right there. Mostert, Charbonnet, Javonte Williams, it's all puke. Tyler Algier, puke, puke, puke. We have Ray Davis projected for 4 fantasy points. McLaughlin for 3.7. I'm going to go McLaughlin. So I'm going to go Madison McLaughlin and hope that, McLaughlin can break out for a long run. Maybe they get down. Maybe they turn to McLaughlin in the 2-minute drill offense. That's the hope. That's why you go McLaughlin. Devontae Adams or Jacoby Myers? Pretty sure it's Jacoby Myers this week. No, it's Devontae Adams by a whisker, but that's because of the Colts matchup. They have the same exact projection. So I'll even give you a little glimpse. I'll give you a little glimpse at our projections here. Look at this. This is when you really need me. This is when you need the Podfather's expertise. You got 2 guys with the exact same projection. What do? You go Devontae Adams. That's what you do. You go with the devil you know. You dance with the devil you know. Pancakes or waffles? Waffles. All the way. Just depends. So it's easier to cook a pancake, right? Most pancake. Well, that's not true. How do I say this? You get a much wider variety of waffles, right? I've had some excellent waffles and some terrible waffles. Waffles can be overcooked. They can be undercooked. They can be too thin. There's all these ways that waffles can be bad. Most pancakes have a nice high floor. They're good. They're fine. Blueberry pancakes, great. Fluffy, ideally, right? Nice, big, and fluffy. You love that. But when you get yourself one of these Belgian waffles, perfect amount of crisp on the outside, big, thick, can hold the syrup, can hold whatever fruit you want to put on top, strawberries, blueberries. They have the slots for those, like the Plinko slots right there to put all your blueberries and all the fruit that you want. And instead of the whipped cream just sliding off the side, it holds it. That pattern, that It's found in nature, right? It's like the carbon molecule, like expressed in a breakfast. That's what a waffle is, man. It's the building block of life. You can build whatever you want on top of that waffle. Think about all the things you can do with a waffle because of that honeycomb pattern. You can put literal honey in there. You can do so many things. Pancakes, it's going to slide off the top. And then you don't have the kind of topping control with the pancakes like you do with, so for example, whatever you get in terms of the soak factor of the syrup or the whipped cream, whatever it is. And I want a good, real whipped cream, to whip your own cream. Heavy cream, whip it good. So you've got all this control and consistency with a waffle. Whereas you take a stack of pancakes, one pancake underneath has gotten almost no syrup. And the pancake on top, it's soaked all the way through. It's got all the butter. It's got all the syrup. The pancake under that, maybe a little bit. And then the pancake under that doesn't get any. It's a very uneven breakfast. It's sloppy. It's uneven. It's suboptimal. Most of the time, your pancake stack is going to be highly suboptimized with all the fixins. Whereas you get ultimate fixin control with a waffle, plus the waffle, if cooked right, is unbeatable. With just that little bit of crisp, and then the soft on the inside. It can be truly mastered. A waffle can be mastered in a way that a pancake really, there's a reason why pancakes are, they're the country breakfast. They're what the cowboys would just make quick on the fire, right? But what are the European chefs making in their restaurants? They're making fucking waffles, man. Okay. Does that answer your question, Pod Son? Is that a good answer? Is that a good answer for waffles? Because I think waffles are key. Waffles are amazing. They're the best. A lot of Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers questions out there, and I've answered it. It's Devontae Adams. Geno or Patrick Mahomes? It's Geno Smith. How do I feel about Roschon Johnson today? That's funny. I'm always going to love Roschon Johnson, and I have conviction in Roschon Johnson. There's nothing I've seen that makes me not want Roschon Johnson on my fantasy team. Same with Blake Corum. These are easy convictions for me. Do you realize how easy it is for me to have conviction in those kinds of players? Knowing how running backs work in the NFL, knowing what we're talking about with a guy like DeAndre Swift or James Cook, Kyron Williams, having conviction in these Ray Davis players and these Roschons and these Corums, it's so easy for me. It's so easy for me to have conviction in these guys. Just like it was easy to have conviction in Tyrone Tracy. Do you really think that Devin Singletary, longer term, you just have to run out the clock on a guy like Devin Singletary. Eventually, the coach is going to figure it out. They're going to figure out who's better. Or you let them blow it. Eventually, Swift's going to blow it. We know it, right? What is this? Can I ask a question? What do I do with this question? I need a tight end to fill in for Cade Otton. Do I drop him or Tyler Algier for a streamer? I'm in first. What is this question? What? Do I drop him or Tyler Algier for Dawson Knox? Is that the question? I would be reticent to drop Tyler Algier. If you think you can pick Tyler Algier back up, I would drop Tyler Algier. If you don't think you can pick Tyler Algier up, if you think someone else is going to scoop him up, depends on how deep your league is, I would drop Cade Otton because you're never going to get the same production you were getting from Cade Otton post-injury. It's not going to happen. They're also getting Jalen McMillan back at some point. So, oh no, there's no injury. It's a bye week. Duh. I was like, did K. Dotton get hurt? No, it's a bye week. So K. Dotton bye week replacement or Tyler Algier? Yeah, this isn't the normal start sit question. It was confusing, and now I'm really pondering it. K. Dotton's been really good. He's been really good. Is K. Dotton going to win you a league? I'm here to win. I am here to win. If you're in first and you don't need to win this week, just take a 0. That's what you should do. If you don't think you're in any danger of missing the playoffs, just take a 0. And don't pick up Dawson Knox at all. That's what you should do. Just leave it alone if you're in first. Because dropping Algier, that's just asking. That's asking for a situation where you're in the fantasy playoffs and you're facing a guy who has Algier and somehow Bijan's missing a game and you're hating your life. You don't want to be put in that situation. You guys really like Will Dissly. It's really funny. It's funny how you guys really Will Dissly, really? I guess this would be the week to play him, right? I mean, sure, I guess. Yeah, you can play. I mean, I'm going Knox, right? I get the so whenever I get the same question over and over again, I'm like, really? Am I missing something? No, we're going Knox. I'm going Knox. Waddle or Knox in tight end premium? I think I'm still going to go Waddle there, but it's going to be close. Maybe I'll go Knox. Tight end premium, I'll go Knox. Fuck it. So others sleep on their back. Why the sad face? Is that I just hit the pillow and I fall asleep. It's that easy. I think that's a good thing. There's some people that can sleep on command. Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper, apparently, he can sleep at any moment. He can just go to sleep within a minute. If he wants to just get a half hour, he can just sleep for half an hour. He has full sleep control. It's unreal. So cool. We're now at the end of the time. And again, I wish this is perfect. Let's end with this. Thank you, Rob Bruneau. I'll try to do better next time. I mean, I never get to all the questions. I'll never get to all the questions. But Rob Bruneau, thank you. You get the show. You understand my plight. Rob wants to know more or more. And I love that. I love that question. Thank you, Rob. The answer, and this is, everyone get in close. I'll get in close. I'll get in real close, everybody. This is important. This is a really good question. Rob gets it, man. And I'm going to give you the answer, Rob. It's so clear. It's right there in front of you. Just whisper the name.